Hey loves, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sunkiss and this is
Sunkisser!
Once again, welcome back to the channel. I know Sunkiss has been missing in action, but I'm back and I'm ready for us to jump straight into this video. But before we do that, make sure you are subscribed to Sunkiss Serves. Become part of Sunkiss Nation. I know you miss me saying that. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that Sunkiss is back again. And we're gonna hop into today's video. It's Monday, so you know it's time for some morning inspiration. Today's morning inspiration will be centered on the topic of the Christian home. I am going to be addressing children specifically and parents, so stay tuned. In Colossians chapter 3, there we see our Apostle Paul talking to the church in Colossae, and specifically in verse 20, he says, "Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord." Now, hear me out. Children of today and previous generations, we always think we know better. We always think we've been through life, so no one can tell us anything. So as we get older and as we hit our teens and in our 20s, you start to see children and parents clashing because parents are telling their kids to do one thing. Kids are like, no, that's crazy. I'm going to do my own thing. You know, the constant struggles that we see with every generation. But the Bible is telling us, children, as long as you have someone that you submit under as a parent, as a guardian, we are to obey them in everything. And trust me, parents may not always be right. And I'm sure parents can attest to this, but obey your parents. That is the command. I'm sure everything will play out. And if there's a case where the parents are wrong in a situation, it will come out and you all can have a dialogue and a conversation and move forward and know how to move forward. At least that's how it's supposed to be. It should be a dialogue. It should be a conversation. And many of us, when we hit that magic number of 18, it is a wrap. And man, oh man, when we hit that bigger number, 21, oh, it is a whole wrap. We think that we know everything. We think that we can make decisions on our own, but pause, pump the brakes. There is a reason why God said, children, obey your parents, for this pleases the Lord. There's a reason why Apostle Paul said that through the leadings of the Holy Spirit, because it is true. God put us on this earth for a reason, and the reason why we are here is to please him in all that we are doing and to bring glory unto his name. So children, it is very important that we obey our parents. God made the institution of family, and it is important that we follow that dynamic. He put parents there to guide us, to teach us, to lead us, you know, to make sure that we are making great decisions for our lives, that we're not going wayward. That is the very essence of why we are put into families with parents, so that they can discipline us, disciple us, lead us. Understand that, yes, your parents are not always going to get it right. They're human. You are human as well. But I believe that it's important that we have a dynamic where we're able to have conversations with our parents and dialogue. Dialogue is super important. You know, it's not enough to tell a child, you need to do this. Okay, why? Because I said so. You know, a lot of parents do that. And if you find yourself doing that, I would admonish and encourage you to try to sit your children down and kind of explain why certain decisions are taken. Of course, you are the parent. You make the decisions when it comes to certain things. But in this day and age, just telling a child because I said so is going to make them even more curious to do the very thing that you told them not to do. So I would say conversation and dialogue is super, super important. And in the same chapter, Colossians chapter 3, when we go down to verse 21, we see also Apostle Paul talking to parents, and he states, "Fathers, do not provoke your children or they will become discouraged." Now, when he said fathers, I believe he was talking to parents. You know, with the patriarchal system that there was back then, things were said to the fathers, but I take it as both parents, fathers and mothers. It is important that we do not provoke our children. Do not provoke them to anger, or they will become discouraged. So it is a two-way street. It's not just enough for, the kids to obey. Parents are also encouraged and admonished to not provoke your kids to anger or not provoke them at all, or they will become discouraged. Like I said, conversation goes a long way. It is important that you have that type of relationship with your child. You should be able to sit your child down and explain certain things to them and have a conversation, because trust me, as long as you are, a different human being than another person, there's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be times where you do not understand each other. So there has to be a common ground where you both can sit down and talk things out. Communication is key. Effective communication is key. It's not just one-sided, the parent talking the whole time or the child talking the whole time. It's both parties coming down, being able to listen to each other. I think listening is very important. As you are able to bring yourself down, humble yourself, and listen to each party, I think there can be a compromise, there can be a common ground. Of course, when it comes to certain things, no means no. There's no compromises, and parents know best. But explain to your child why it is no. I think that will help them better understand where you are coming from, rather than just a blanket statement, because I said so and I don't have to explain myself to you. Some parents say that, and if that works for you, fine. But I will just say and encourage you to have an open dialogue and conversation with your child. It will help break so many grounds. It will help ease the conflict and the tension between your children. And it'll allow you to talk to your children freely, and your children to also come to you with anything that's bothering them. That's the type of relationship that you want. So the conclusion here is that there needs to be a change. We need to do better. Parents, it is important that you foster open dialogue with your kids. Children, it is important that you obey your parents. It is not everything that they're going to explain to you that you're going to understand, but know that they have your best interests at heart. And also, parents, know that, kids are growing up. You were once in their shoes at one point. You know that you thought you knew everything. You thought the world was on the back of your shoulders and you were carrying every weight of it. You should understand out of all people, because you've been a child before. So know how to navigate those situations with your children. It only takes a conversation. It takes an open dialogue. And that's the type of environment you want to foster with your kids. Please, 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 parents, it's not enough to say, I said so, don't ask me questions, don't ask me why, it is what it is, bam. Because I guarantee you, your child will go to that very thing that you told them not to do out of curiosity, because you're not giving me a good enough reason as to why I shouldn't do this. So I'm going to find out on my own. And a lot of kids find themselves in trouble because of that. So both parties, we all need to do better. We are pleasing God at the end of the day, and we want to make sure that we are raising good, godly children. And children, we want to make sure that we are following our parents' leadings and their guidance in order to become the best Christian man or woman that we can be. I hope this morning inspiration was helpful on this Monday morning. This week is going to be blessed. May God bless the work of your hands and everything that you find yourself doing. Until next time, Sunkiss fam, Sunkiss Nation. See you later. Bye. I love you with the love of Christ.